Hello, everybody. Welcome to our preview of week number 7 of the football season. Hard to believe we're this far into the season already. We're going to talk about the games in the Suburban Trends area. And once again this week, we are joined by Tom Fiore of the Suburban Trends. Works out so well that way, doesn't it?
Perfect.
Well, we have 5 games to talk about. We're going to start with 2 teams in your area, Butler against Kinnelon. Kind of the story of 2 different teams going in different directions this year.
It absolutely is. Last year, Kinnelon was on their way to the playoffs, and Butler was in a winless season. Now it's almost the other way around, though Kinnelon has a win. Jim Matsakis, after the game against Boonton, said this is a trap game. They have Mountain Lakes next week. He doesn't want his kids to think too far ahead. Kinnelon is starting to play a little bit better. But I think that Butler is going to take this one. I think next week, against Mountain Lakes, 2 7-0 teams fighting it out for the North 1 Group 1 title will be exciting.
I mean, it's too bad this is the first time these teams have played in a long, long time, if ever. It's too bad it doesn't promise to be a little bit better of a game, Butler just being that much better this year.
Yeah, it would have been fun to put the Kinnelon's team in a time capsule and bring them out to this year from last year. It would have been very exciting, high scoring, but it's not the case, unfortunately for Kinnelon. But they'll play tough, but I think Butler will be too much for them.
I'm going to take Butler also. Also Friday night, Pequannock home to face Whippany Park. Again, not too much to say about this game. Whippany Park really struggling. They lost to Kinnelon last week. Pequannock just needing to get as many points as they can. They're pretty good shape for the playoffs, but they have a chance at a home game, but they need to take care of business.
They need to win this game. They need to win the next 2 games. If they get 6 wins, they should get a home game. They might be a 4 seed, maybe a 3 if things break right. And I think that would be a great accomplishment for them. Whippany Park, they've been giving up a lot of points to a lot of teams. And I think that Pequannock will have this one well in hand by halftime.
All right, well, an important game for Lakeland as they host Ferris of Jersey City. I saw Ferris last week against Passaic Valley. They have a couple of kids who, are pretty good, but they just don't have the overall talent. I don't think they're good enough. I think Lakeland should win this game. They need it. I mean, they're coming off a huge win over Wayne Valley, and they need to continue it this week.
Well, 2 huge wins. You take the win over Paramus in this one. Ferris, they're 3-3. Their 3 wins are against teams with a combined record of 3-15, and the teams they lost to have a combined record of 12-5. I think Lakeland is seasoned. They're tested. They're ready. I think that they knew that they saved their season with those last 2 wins, and I think that they're headed for the playoffs now.
Well, I'm going to go with Lakeland as well on that one. Now, West Milford, they actually played, got to give them credit. They played better than I think just about anyone expected against St. Joe's last week, only losing 24-7, down 10-7 in the third quarter, before they had a big play. They got a really relatively easy game this week against Bayonne, who I saw a couple weeks ago, just has nothing. So you got to figure they come home and get a win this week.
I think they will. And I think the story for West Milford this year is if. If this had happened, if that had happened, they could have been vying for a playoff spot. It's not, but they still have pride. I think they'll beat Bayonne, and they're going to try to win as many games as they possibly can.
Yeah, they have a chance to run the table out here in the regular season and go for a winning season at the very least. So obviously they want to get that going here. The one game on Saturday, probably the closest game we're going to talk about, Pompton Lakes against Hawthorne. Pompton Lakes now 3-3. Hawthorne is 2-4, but I think they're still harboring the possibility of trying to get back to 500 for cutoff. So this is a huge game for the playoffs. Someone is pretty much going to have their playoff hopes dashed this week. Mm-hmm. It's at Hawthorne on Saturday afternoon. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I mean, Hawthorne, they lost to Glen Rock by 4 points. They lost to Lodi by 7. Lodi put a lot of points on Pompton Lakes early in the season. Pompton's defense has been suspect at times, but against the really high-powered teams. I don't think Hawthorne's offense is that high-powered enough where they're going to be able to put that much strain on. I think somehow, some way, Mahoney will rally the troops and they'll get this win. Doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs, but they have to win this game if they have any thoughts of wanting to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling I'm going to pick Hawthorne in this game. I just have a feeling Hawthorne wins it at home. All right, folks, we thank you for joining us. Thanks again to Tom from the Suburban Trends. And we'll see you on the sidelines.